evening, ghosts and ghouls. You're listening to a horrible podcast.
I'll show you I've got balls. I'll go kill this bitch.
So Renfield and Rebecca kind of clean house here. And, the one son that's of the crime family is kind of left. And he goes back, and that's where Renfield gets on their radar. So now they got two people that they really want to get rid of. And, you have all this going on, and at the same time, he's still worried about Dracula and everything.
He's trying to run from him, start a new life.
Yeah. But,
trying to hide from Dracula.
Anyway, he stays away from Dracula because he finally gets convinced, the best, if I don't do all these shit for him, he'll be weak and he'll be powerful-less,
Yeah.
And it turns out that he buys him a little apartment. He's trying to live the good life and the normal life and everything. But Dracula, where there's a will, there's a way, found his way back to full power and hunts him down, And because of this, betrayal that Dracula sees in him, he doesn't kill Renfield. He's like, I'm going to make your life a living hell. Anybody you ever care about, I'm going to destroy them. Which is, and there's nothing you can do about it because you're going to live forever because of the power I gave you. So, you get to witness me killing everybody you love and,
will love.
World domination type of deal. And, so you fast forward through the movie a little bit after back and forth type of shit. And, Dracula gets hooked up with the crime family because, evil attracts evil, which basically at the end, he uses them all.
Yeah.
And, they kind of lure Rebecca and Renfield out of kind of hiding a little bit or whatnot.
Yeah, because they get her sister that works for the FBI.
Yeah, the sister, I actually thought the sister was going to be one that's corrupt as well and like turn over.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that.
It was actually her partner. Yeah, it was actually
the one that looks like he had Down syndrome.
Yeah, he's really fat.
Yeah.
But anyway, so now Rebecca and Renfield have to team up to take down the crime family and Dracula. And by the way, what gives Renfield his power is he has to eat bugs.
Yeah, they don't change anything.
Yeah, like every time he eats bugs, his powers get like superfied.
Yeah, it's like, Popeye eating spinach, you know, except for Renfield, eats bugs.
And by the end of the film, Dracula and the crime family kind of have an understanding, but you find out really it's the whole time that Dracula kind of wants Rebecca because he wants a strong-willed person who won't fold under pressure, and he thinks he can convince her, and he underestimates her. Like, it's funny. He thinks she's the right amount of attitude, but her right amount of attitude was her ability to tell him to go piss up a rope too.
Right.
So this is how you do a strong female role.
Oh, absolutely.
Without pissing people off and without pushing it on somebody. Like, you give her this no-nonsense fucking type of shit, but she also has a personality.
She was fucking funny in this movie.
Yeah, she was hilarious in it, but she was also badass, which is, something that other movies try to pull off, and sometimes it just is like, they trying too hard. In this, it seemed very natural. And, they eventually get Dracula in the position to where Renfield had that decision before. He was in a holding circle, right? You can do this holding circle type of deal.
Traps Dracula.
he traps them, and he does the only thing he can think of, and they like cut him up into itty bitty pieces. And the cool thing about it is Renfield is kind of narrating throughout the movie because he's like kind of telling you the story as well. And he goes, I don't even know if this is going to kill him, but at least it's going to neutralize him and slow him down for years.
Yeah.
So that tells you right there that, that's a good indication that we could possibly have a sequel. We could possibly bring this back if it goes well, They're leaving the door open.
Which I'm glad.
But as far as a movie goes, this is a good horror action film that has that hint of comedy in it. If you like Zombieland, that type of stuff where the gore is there for you, but you can also laugh and not feel offended and not feel like this is a parody and how this is shitting on a genre. This is the perfect movie for you. I was, I kind of saved.
They don't insult
you,
and they don't go woke, which I thoroughly fucking appreciated.
No wokeness.
Like, there was that lesbian in the group, and she's talking about her girlfriend, but it was like she was just talking about her girlfriend like I would talk about my girlfriend. It wasn't like, they tried to like beat you over the head with it.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that. Thank you. I don't need to be beat over the head by a bunch of woke shit or a bunch of conservative shit.
Yeah.
The way that they did the female lead in this movie, perfect. And the thing is that we didn't know by the trailer that she was going to be a main character.
Yeah.
Which was a pleasant surprise. Thank you for not spoiling that, whoever the fuck made these trailers.
Yeah.
Like, God bless your fucking soul.
Yeah, this movie was not over the top, goofy, funny either. This movie knew when to be funny and knew when not to be funny. Right. And knew when to turn the action up and knew when to, make you feel what they wanted you to feel in that moment. It wasn't a clusterfuck of, we didn't walk away going, they tried too hard or, it was right on the money. Like, it was the perfect length of a movie.
It was like 93, 96 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't a very long movie. I mean, it started at 5, and we were out of there by 6:45.
Yeah.
So I
don't feel like they kept anything from us.
No, they probably have some deleted scenes, but everything that was in the movie is fine. No complaints from me. This is how you make a movie and start a franchise. Like Universal, if you're out there, your Mummy movie with Tom Cruise was not very good. It actually blew ass. I don't know if you've seen it, but I have. It's very few things in that. Like the best things in that movie was stuff not involving the Mummy because the Mummy looked so goddamn bad.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
So it was actually like when Tom Cruise was actually acting as a person, it was a good movie. But when it got to the important things,
shit the bed.
This movie is the exact opposite. This movie makes you care about the characters, and you think to yourself, well, why the fuck do you do a Dracula movie and Renfield is the vocal point? Well, you give him an interesting story, you cast it good, and you fucking make him likable, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, like, the more I think about this movie, the more I love this movie. Like I said, the female lead was awesome. The guy played Renfield. He played in The Menu. He played in X-Men First Class. He was Beast.
Yeah, played in X-Men First Class and what was the other one?
Days of Future Past.
Days of Future... No, was it? Yeah, Days of Future Past. He's the young Beast.
Yeah.
Good actor.
Amazing actor. He can do serious. He can do comedy. Awesome. Now let's talk about the highlight of this movie. The thing that I believe that everybody wanted to see how it was, is Nicolas Cage.
Haha.
So at the opening of this movie, they shoot. It's like in black and white, but it's like the
It's like the
Bela Lugosi,
Yeah.
and he looks almost shot for shot the same.
Yeah, they take
it's
classics,
amazing.
They take classic scenes from the original, like 1931 Dracula, and they kind of just redo it with Nicolas Cage, and
Yeah.
it's point on. It
blew
point on.
my mind how much he resembled him.
Yeah. And as far as him as Dracula, he did a very, very good job. He still has the lure of Dracula, but you can tell, I mean, it's modern times, so he's picked up modern lingo and shit like that. So he's not afraid to
evolve with the times.
Yeah, he's not afraid to evolve, and, you know, he's scary when he needs to be scary, but other times he's like, you know, he has genuine emotions like, you know, what the fuck? Because he knows he can, like, kill everybody with the snap of his fingers. That's why,
Right.
and I think that's why, like, he's more sadistic, because he knows he can just kill you whenever, but he doesn't. His Dracula was more about, like, torturing people that was important to him, and if you're not important, he'll just kill you. You know, he doesn't play
He's
around.
very sadistic.
Yeah, he's like, fuck it. You know, like we said earlier, he wasn't going to kill Renfield, even though he could. He was going to just make his life a living fucking hell. It's kind of like, you know, you don't get the death penalty, you get to rot in jail type of deal.
Yeah.
But his performance is great. It's been a long time since he's been on the big screen in a theater type of movie.
Yeah.
You know, and in my opinion, he's never missed a beat. He does what he wants to do. Like, everybody always talks shit about Nicolas Cage. Oh, look at all the B movies he does. He does them because he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, and this obviously shows it, because his performance in this, I'm going to go ahead and say this, he's probably in my top 5 favorite Draculas right now.
Yeah, I mean,
like, his performance is so good. Say what you want to about the man, but his over top, like, quirkiness that he has in some of the B-rated movies that you hate fits Renfield.
Yeah.
To the point where it makes it awesome.
And, you know, this is the first time that he's played Dracula, but it's not the first time he's played a vampire. If you guys want to go all the way back to the 80s, watch a movie called, what's the name of it? It's not Vamp. It's Vampire Kiss.
Yeah.
Vampire Kiss, where he, if you want to see the quirkiness of a young Nicolas Cage as a vampire, watch that movie, and then go watch Renfield, and it's kind of like, it's almost like that's what he evolved into, you know, he's got his weight under him, he turned into Dracula type of deal. They have nothing to do with one another. I just think it's funny that he played a movie where he was a regular vampire, and then all these years later he plays Dracula. It's almost like he matured into the matured, you know, Dracula almost.
Right. Let's talk about something that surprised, I believe, both of us, actually. The gore. This was, like, top-tier fucking gore.
Yeah, I mean,
great fucking creative kills.
Yeah, there was some good gore in it, and it was, obviously it was CGI, a lot of it, but it wasn't insulting CGI. It was CGI where you see it and you go, that fits. It doesn't look corny. It has just enough shadow and just enough quick cuts to give you what you want without exposing it.
Right.
And, you know, some of the newer Marvel films could take notes on that, because the last couple Marvel films I've seen, the movie might have been decent, but the special effects are going downhill fast.
Yeah.
So it's refreshing to see a movie like this shouldn't be as good as it is. Like,
It really-
show you how
Yeah.
to do it. Like, your movie might have cost $9 million to make, and this movie might have cost, a half of that, and this movie is better than your shit. So,
Right.
Take notes.
You see a guy get both of his arms ripped off, and then Renfield impaling two other people with those arms.
Yeah, there's
Like-
some creative cue. We don't want to give all of it away.
No.
We want you to go see it and be surprised by some stuff, but just know that it's hard to make a movie like this and be creative and be so familiar. Like, you watch it and you're so familiar with the story, yet nothing in this movie, as the kills go, you've really seen before.
No.
Like, you've seen glimpses of it, but not like this.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the good things that made this movie so good for us, is that not only was it good gore, but it was creative kills that we normally don't get,
Yeah.
And, the only thing that I can think of that wasn't used in the movie is there's that scene where they're getting loaded up, and they never really use the stakes or the crosses or whatever, but
Yeah.
they didn't need to. It would have been cool if they would have used a couple of the stakes and the crosses and the holy water and that type of shit
Yeah.
on some of the low-ranked vampires that the crime family turned into.
Yeah.
But then again, they had some awesome deaths too, and it's kind of like, well, we don't really need this for them because we can kick their ass.
I'll tell you what I appreciate about that is that they made it noticeable that they can die very easily, just like Renfield can die.
Right.
So it shows you how good Renfield is compared to these other guys.
Like, Renfield can get fucked up, and the only way to, like, clear him or
Bring him.
cure him is the blood of Dracula.
Yeah, he can. The blood of Dracula can actually bring the dead back to life.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants to. He's really, he calls himself a god in it, and he has godlike features. So, I thought it was a great movie.
I thought it was fucking spectacular. This has been my surprise of the year so far.
Yeah, I got a feeling that when we do the end of the year, this one will still be ranked pretty high.
I'm feeling this is in my top 5 of 2023. It's great. I mean, like you said, it's a story we know, but it's new and done so well.
Oh yeah,
that it's just awesome. Like, I was so I was not disappointed. I was thoroughly entertained from beginning to end. I wasn't looking at my watch. I laughed my ass off in a lot of different scenes.
Yeah.
The main female lead was really funny. She was really good. I loved her delivery. Nicolas Cage killed it. The guy that played Renfield killed it. Everything about this movie was just fucking awesome. It's just a great movie.
Yeah. This is definitely, a purchase. It's definitely.
This is a buy on 4K.
Yeah, it's really good.
So I guess we need to go ahead and give this the rating.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of any negative thing about this film. As far we do rank horror films, and this movie is not necessarily 100% horror. So, my best ranking for this film is 8, 8.5. I'm going to go with 8.5.
I'm sticking with 8 because I want to go higher, and I feel like when I rewatch this, it probably will go higher. But I'm feeling like an 8.5 is like really good.
Yeah, the reason why I'm giving it an 8.5 is because as a horror film, as a gore enthusiast, it gives you what you want. But at the core story of this, it's more of a struggle. It's more of a, it's definitely not a pure comedy movie. It has scenes that make you laugh, but it's, it's not a pure horror film. It's not designed scene after scene to make you like, spooky or whatever.
Right.
So it's kind of like half a regular movie and half a horror movie.
Yeah.
So that's why I give it an 8.5. If this was a pure horror movie, first of all, I don't think it would work.
No,
it wouldn't work.
No. If they were going for pure horror, and they still kind of kept it like they did, it would have fell flat on its face.
It wouldn't have worked. This movie is perfect the way it is. If you like, your horror films with a little bit of gag in it and a little bit of have a good time where you can laugh and everything. This falls in line, like your Shaun of the Dead or your Zombieland or your Return of the Living Dead, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, has that, that element that you can really like be entertained by it. So,
right.
Yeah, it was goody. Go see it.
All right. So I thought it might be a little entertaining to go over some of the reviews and scores for Renfield.
Okay.
All right. Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, no. Gives this a 58%.
A 58%.
58.
Based on how many reviews?
It's 225 reviews on the tomato or whatever.
So you mean only 58% of 250 some people gave this a positive review, while the other 50%?
Are you here? That's Rotten Tomatoes score. Well,
Okay.
I guess that's the. I'm not exactly sure how Rotten Tomatoes works. I know they're full of shit. Now the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Are you ready for this? It's 500 plus verified ratings for the audience. This is the people. The people give it a fucking 80%.
Well, that shows you right there. You know what? That's the only thing that should matter is the audience. It shouldn't matter a bunch of damn, First of all, I've said this before, there's no such thing as a professional critic. There is nobody in the world. I don't give a fuck if you're Martin Scorsese or fucking John Carpenter, whoever. You might be a professional movie maker, but you're not a professional movie watcher. There's nobody in the world that can tell you, oh, this film is perfect. This film is this film is that, because all film is a matter of opinion and who likes it. That's the bottom line. That is the absolute bottom line. And I believe that, people know that. That's why they added the audience score, because they didn't used to do that. It was just their score. So.
Fuck you, Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes is always exactly what it is. Fucking rotten.
All right. Metacritic gives it a 53%.
Well, that's even worse. Fuck them, whoever they are.
Yep. All right. Moving on to one of my personal favorites. I love to go back and forth with. I love to comment on your comments all the time because they're 99.9% wrong half the time. IMDb.
Yeah.
Out of a 10, 6.7.
Well, they're about, I want to meet these people that consider themselves like these movie critics, because, I'm not saying that you can't have your own opinion of a film, but it seems like, you don't have a very diverse set of people that are reviewing movies. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like they're all kind of like-minded people, and that kind of sucks because like I said, I don't give a fuck. There's no such thing as professional movie critic. Cisco and Ebert was just a show I watched to be entertained and hear them shit on horror movies all the time. But, the fuck do they know?
Exactly. And my favorite, I say for last, IGN, the one that I hate the most. And, of course, they give this what they give just about every movie, a 7 out of 10.
Well, not bad, but not fair.
No, because they drop 7s like fucking Oprah gives free cars away.
Yeah, they're kind of like one of these where, it wasn't good. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't nothing I can complain about. So 7 sounds good.
Well, like when they display the number and then they say, oh, spectacular, or must see, or must buy, give like a comment underneath it.
Yeah.
It just says good.
Yeah, well.
Thanks for the input, IGN. Once again, eat my ass.
I think this movie is more than good. It surpasses expectation. And this is coming from horror dudes like us.
Yeah.
Like, this movie had a chance to fall flat and be awful, and it wasn't. It was thoroughly entertaining. You're talking to guys that watch Italian zombie films and fucking classic John Carpenter Halloween films and stuff like that. So if we tell you that it's pretty goddamn good, it's pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, like trust me, watch it. Fuck it. Don't take our opinion. Don't take their opinion. Go watch it and form your own opinion. I tell you that all the time.
Yeah.
But this was the surprise so far of the year. So go out there, watch it, have fun. Might not want to take the kids to this one.
Fuck it, take him.
A little on the gory, a little on the cussing. It's rated R. But hey, if you don't mind that, fuck it.
If you don't raise a bunch of pussies, go take your kids to where the studio can get feedback that a lot of motherfuckers are going to see this, because if they get that feedback, maybe they'll make more movies like this, and I'm definitely all for that.
Yep. I'm JT Ripper.
And I'm Todd of Thunder saying toodaloo.
Fuck you, Kyle. I remembered.